fish on. It's late June right now. You know, in late June, we've had a lot of bug hatches. Fish are definitely on the move. And when you get to those days where you just can't find the fish in any particular location or they're not stacked up, you know, it's always a determination for me. What's my best bet to catch fish? And trolling lead core is one of the great ways you can go out, catch lots of walleyes, and cover lots of water just to determine, hey, should I stop and rig here? Can I pull spinners? Or should I keep trolling? This week in particular, we've had a ton of weather, all sorts of storms and rain and fronts moving through, so these fish are definitely on the move. We're getting them scattered in and around structure, but also out in the basin, just off of structure. Trolling by far is one of those ways where you can cover a lot of water and determine, hey, what's my next move? Are these fish scattered? Are they suspended? Are they on the bottom? And then you can really dial down exact presentations from there. This time of year, I like to troll a lot of number 5, number 4s, number 7 shad wraps, whether they're straight shad wraps or rattling suspending baits or RS jointed or glass shads, all great baits. There's a lot of young of the year minnows emerging, whether it's perch or spot-tail shiners in those smaller sizes, so those fish are keying on this size bait, especially this time of year and as we get into the summer months here. So great baits for trolling. You can troll them down at different depths when you're coupling it with lead core, but some of my favorites are in these colors. There we go. You know, a lot of times when it's windy like this, I like to quarter the waves a little bit or ride the trough. You know, something where your speed's going to be a little more consistent. Today I'm trolling around 2 miles an hour. And if you try to go right into the waves or just ride right down the waves, you just don't get a consistent enough speed. I like to see that right there, that front treble hook. When they start snapping and they're hitting that front treble hook, that's a good sign. That means they're biting. You know, a lot of times if they're just nipping that back treble and you're catching them by one single hook on that back treble, that means they're just swiping at it. But when they're feeding and they're on the feed bag, you almost always get that front treble or they inhale the entire bait. That's a good sign. There we go, another fish on. There is lots of fish scattered. Some are on the bottom, some are off the bottom 2-3 feet, some are way up. And that's what I like about trolling lead core. When I'm seeing fish like that, that's a perfect example when to troll. I haven't gotten into a scenario today where I thought, you know, I should stop and rig this or I should stop and pull spinners. They've all been all over the water column, and that way I can adjust my crankbaits up and down in the water column to get right at those fish level. It's important too to just reel nice and easy. One thing with lead or when you have no stretch line, I don't do a lot of hook sets or pulling them in erratic. I like to keep a nice even reel going and not jerking the fish in. Don't set the hook with the lead. Those are all just really good habits to get into when you're trolling. See what I was talking about? Front treble. That one inhaled the bait. Well, not a giant, but a healthier looking fish anyway. Man, I love lead core just because it's such a great search tool. Allows you to run baits at all sorts of different depths in the water column and really target those fish at their level. Oh, baby. That's a good one. Wow, he just smacked that bait. I love it when they hit it with that much intensity. That's what the key thing too when you're trolling is to have a good rod with a nice big bow. You know, you want enough backbone, but you want to have plenty of tip in your rod. It just makes more sense, especially with lead core when there's no stretch in the lead core. You've got to have a rod that loads up. I love this 8.6 and my 9.4 trolling rods from Wright McGill. These Tony Roach signature rods are phenomenal for that. too bad a fish. Once again, lead core is not only an amazing fish catching tool, but it's a great fish searching tool as well. If you get out here and you're finding the fish just completely scattered, kind of like we did today, where they're all over, not only in different areas of the structure, but also when they're all over kind of up and down in the water column, that's the time to break out the lead core rods. Hey, wanted to thank my camera guy. It's his birthday this week, so we're going to continue trolling the rest of the day. But we've had a great morning of trolling, got some big fish, got some slot fish. Lead core is the way to go when you're looking for fish. Until next week, I'm Tony Roach, and we'll see you on the water.